Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Diana. I make giant paper and foam flowers, and I have ordered with 6 daisies. So today then I can show to anyone who wants to see how they are made, how I make them. So this is foam. This is not ever foam, but basically you can do exactly the same with ever foam. For center, I'm using 2 millimeters thickness. With daisies, petals will be with 3 millimeter because these daisies will be 1 meter wide. I will start cutting strips for center. Need this, need that. Then I have for each daisy, I will cut strips which are 7 centimeters high, and this roll is 75 centimeters wide. So you do the math if you have a everfoam, how much everfoam you need for one big daisy. So for 1 meter one, I'm thinking to use 15 strips, and I have one more daisy which is 80 centimeters. For that one, it will be 10 strips. Then, so here are strips for 5 daisies, which will be 1 meter. So that's 5 times 15 and plus 10 more for 80 centimeter daisy. What happens next is not fun, really part of work, but if you don't have a laser, there's no options at the then just do this. So next is just that. I need to cut all this in strips. That's why I cut 2, well sometimes 3 at the same time. But then definitely need to use clips, otherwise it's moving and they're not good size then, because the strip on the bottom can move away and make wider these stamens. So that's why there's clips, so they won't move. And just all the way like that. That's how you do it. This part of job I will keep for later. When I'm in the evening, I'm on the telly, will watch something and just cut. And basically, it could take maybe one evening to cut all this. This one strip is about 3 to 5 minutes to cut. It's not like it takes all day. Just after some time, hands hurts like crazy, especially this spot. But that's a part of job. And this big roll is for petals. This is 3 millimeter isolon, so petals will be much stronger than if it will be 2 millimeters. If you get 2 millimeters, well, it's fine, but for indoors better. outside they will be quite, in the wind they will flop more. Next is for 1 meter daisy. I will cut 50 centimeters long petals. This roll is 1 meter wide, and so this way it's 50 centimeters long petals, and I will cut them 20 centimeters wide. So each petal will be 20 by 50. So if you can get Eva foam, which is at least 50 centimeters wide, then it might work for 1 meter daisy. If it's 80 centimeter daisy, I will cut it's 40 centimeters long. Basically, how wide is daisy? Cut it in half, because our forming will take some centimeters off. So that's how I count it. And for such a large daisy, I don't use ruler anymore, because nobody will notice if there's 1 or 2 centimeters difference. It's easy to cut straight line anyway. If you're asking where to get 3 millimeter foam, I really don't know. It's I got it from Facebook Marketplace when one lady was tidying up her hobby room, basically, and that's how I got it. And I still, this is like treasure. No, you can't find it so easy anymore. So if I have 5 petals in each, for each daisy I'm using 16. Yeah, 8 and 8. 16 petals for each daisy, so there will be lots of petals to cut. We'll see when it's done. And next, this is how I cut the shape of petal. So I don't use any templates, because I have got so many of them, and just so both sides would be similar, I fold them in half and cut it at the same time, both layers. And so on the top of petal has that little gap. For daisies, I love to make that there. For sunflowers, I make a little bit different. And on the bottom, a little bit off to about 4-5 centimeters. And smooth the edges. If you do it first time, then I suggest to try on a paper at first. After some time, it will look easier. So to shape, I don't use any molds. All I need is strong heat gun, because you can't make it without it. I've seen people using electric, those little stoves for kitchen, but then it's harder to point only to one place where you need to heat it up. Because if you heat it where it's already done, you can lose that shape. And so this move is really gentle, just to shape it around the edge. And as it's isolon, I can do this where I just glue the center part together to make it like this. If it's ever foam, you need to do this part with glue, hot glue, or super glue. Here, probably you don't need much of explanation, just obviously roll all the stamen strips till you get so wide center how much you want it to be. And my advice is just keep the bottom part as flat as possible. So that's why I always just keep it on the table and roll it, keeping it there like this. And because then it's easier to glue a back for freestanding flower or just simply cover back for wall decoration. In the end, I was using a little bit more than I was thinking. I was using 17 strips for 1 meter daisy. As you see, it's quite tight, this roll, so need to fluff it up a little bit. Must say, with Everform, this job would be a little bit easier. With Everform, you could make it more puffier and more natural. This foam sticks together, so need to be a little bit careful not to heat too much. Okay. Then there's petals, and I'll glue them here. Thing is alone when you heat it up to proper temperature, then isolon sticks to the isolon. If for example this would be Everfoam and that would be isolon, you can't stick it together. Then you need to use glue. But as this is isolon and this is isolon, I can just heat it up and straight away stick it together. But it's not like you can wait a minute. Need to do straight away. And basically that's the best thing why I like isolon, because it makes working much faster. Otherwise, if it's all Everfoam, then you have to wait each petal to glue so while glue is cooling down. Otherwise it will start to like bounce back. With Everfoam, you use glue, hot glue definitely, but that will be longer time than mine. I have seen that people use super glue if you have ever found. I haven't tried, I can't say, but is it working so easily or not? But that's one more option. So how I do it, I scratch where I want petals. This first row is 8 petals, so it's just easy to cross all the, and so do like that. And now it won't disappear anywhere. And straight away I want to make next row as well, because otherwise when there will be loads of petals everywhere, then it will be harder to reach. And need to glue a little bit between petals as well. So here and here. Then they are holding each other. Otherwise, let's put one more. See the difference. Here they are glued together in these spots, and this one is not. They will all, each petal will do, each petal will live its own life if you don't glue them together. So glue them a little bit together. Where do you want them to stay in a place, especially if it's out for outside use, because the wind will be blowing like crazy. All this, it doesn't need to be heavy wind. It's little wind, it will be like open umbrella. Petals need to be strong together. And now it starts a little bit being away. Let's see, is it 1 meter? It's 1 meter and 5 centimeters. If it's for a wall or something, then it's done. Basically, just put some wires where to hook it and done. For stems, for freestanding, then I need half ball and a PVC pipe which fits on the stem, which would be 20 millimeter flexible pipe stem, and so this is 25. 16 millimeter pipe won't hold it because it's heavy, and if it's outside, then especially needs to be heavy stand and quite long rods. this is 20 centimeter rod. If I put it, that's a 20 millimeter pipe. So 25 millimeter PVC pipe will go on the stem. Outside, if it's windy, this needs to be big and heavy, because especially if it's so small and flower is so big, little wind, it will be like far away. And as and when you have big and heavy stand, best would be concrete stand for outside, because MDF, if it rains, then it's not the best thing for MDF. So then you have, well, you need rod higher, because stem can bend as well because of wind. If you have lots of leftovers from isolon, if you have isolon, you can make a ball from it, and then you can fill this space up. Basically, you can't just glue pipe here. Just it will break so easily off. That's not a good idea. That's why I glue it here inside, and then I glue on the top. And then I have these petals, sepals. I just all cover all this, so it's all green, and little piece to cover stem itself. And that's how we will do. One week later, I had another order with 60 centimeters wide daisy and also sunflower, and so I just wanted to show. Basically, I make them the same way, only petal shape for sunflower is not so round on one end, more pointy. And also these daisies were made the same way, only these was with flat back. So thank you for watching. I hope you now understand how it's made, and for some of you maybe it will be helpful. Bye.